Hey Nicole, do you have any recommendations on games I can review? I'm having a bit of trouble, so do you mind if you can help me out?
You mean to tell me your collection is not good enough? Why not something simple?
Look, Nicole, I just really want to find a game that I can end perfectly with this season. I want to find something great, the best, you know?
I get it. Alright, I think I found the perfect game for you. I placed it in your garage, okay? So check it out.
Really? Thanks, Nicole. You're the best. Well wait, how'd you get in my garage? Huh. Where did she put it? Oh, here it is. Oh no.
Hopefully this game is considered perfect for you, Yukaka.
Oh, she's quite the charmer. Okay, let's see what we got. Whoa. Huh. Persona 5. Interesting. This is the game where you can date your teacher, right? Released in Japan on September 15, 2016 and worldwide on April 4, 2017 for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3, this is Persona 5, a social simulation role-playing game. The game was developed by P Studios and published by Atlus to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Persona series. This is the 6th installment in the Persona series, which is part of a larger franchise called Shin Megami Tensei. Development for Persona 5 started all the way back in 2008, but entered to full development in 2011. The game was first announced in 2013 and was planned for a late 2014 release exclusively on the PlayStation 3. But in September 2014, it was announced that the game would be delayed to 2015, as the game would be released on the PlayStation 4 as well. I recommend reading the development of Persona 5, as it's actually quite interesting. Now, I literally had no idea what Persona was, even before I first played Persona 5. It was mostly just like, oh hey, Joker was in Smash Brothers. I knew that, but that was really the only thing I knew about Persona. Until then, I found a copy for the PlayStation 3 at Book-Off. I was really tempted to buy it. I was really tempted. I had Sonic Unleashed ready to purchase, and then I found this. It was 25 bucks. I feel like that was worth it. And so, I bought it, and I was blown away by it. But, of course, let's focus on talking about the game first. I want to talk about the game first, explaining how it plays out, what the gameplay is, all that. Until then, let's wait until we get onto the full review. So, with that being said, let's just get on with the video. The story centers around you, the hero, or as the supposed canon name, Ren Amamiya. You're staying at your caretaker Sojiro's cafe and transferring to Shujin Academy after being falsely accused of assault and put on probation. Over the course of your school year, you and the friends that you'll meet, school delinquent Ryuji Sakamoto, fashion model An Takamaki, a mysterious cat-like creature named Morgana, art prodigy Yusuke Kitagawa, student council president Makoto Nijima, hikikomori computer hacker Futaba Sakura, and culture corporate heiress Haru Okumura. All of you will awaken to a special power called Persona, your true self, as well as becoming a group of secret vigilantes known as the Phantom Thieves of Heart. Using this power and going by the name Joker, you and your friends will explore the Metaverse, a supernatural realm born from humanity's subconscious desires in order to steal the malevolent intent from the hearts of corrupted adults. Again, I'm really trying my hardest to keep this review spoiler free, since I really want the people who haven't played this game to play it for the first time and experience it the way I experienced it. So yeah, this review is just gonna be me trying not to spoil a lot of the story. Hopefully.
Anyways, the gameplay here is an RPG mixed with dungeon crawling elements alongside social simulation scenarios. You'll be alternating two lifestyles in your playthrough, and that's your normal school life and your Phantom Thief life. The game itself is governed by a day and night cycle and weathering systems that determine the general behavior similar to a social sim game. The year is punctuated by scripted and random events as Ren attends school. In your normal school life, you can do part-time jobs, buy gear and weapons, and do leisurely activities, like craft items, play at the batting cages, and study at a restaurant, all of which can raise your attributes, those being your charm, proficiency, knowledge, guts, and kindness. During your free time, you can develop relationships with other people, known as confidants. These characters being your caretaker and skilled barista, Sojiro Sakura, homeroom teacher Sadayo Kawakami, drunk journalist Ichigo Oya, rising shogi player Hifumi Togo, fortune teller Chihaya Mifune, former Diet member Teranosuke Yoshida, back alley doctor Tei Takemi, airsoft shopkeeper Iwai Munahisa, former volleyball player Mishima Yuki, rising detective Goro Okechi, Velvet Room wardens Caroline and Justine, pro gamer Shinya Oda, and prosecutor Sai Nijima. Your party members are confidants as well, and leveling up your confidant rank with party members, you'll earn various abilities to use in combat, while non-party confidants give each other bonuses, like access to new items, equipment, and boosting experience point and yen gain. Confidants are really important if you want to cruise through the palaces. Speaking of which, in contrast to your school life, you also have your Phantom Thief life, which the dungeon crawling gameplay comes into play, and it uses two different types of gameplay within the metaverse. The first being palaces, which are the main story-specific dungeons. The second being mementos, which is a multi-layer randomly generated dungeon. Both are infested with shadows, the main enemies you'll encounter, which are the physical manifestations of suppressed psyches, modeled after mythological and religious figures. In palaces, your objective is to get to the treasure which will change the heart of the target. You run around the target's palace as you find your way to the treasure. You can steal items from statues and find treasure that can give you some useful items. You'll also be using your third eye, which will allow you to see traps, statues containing items, hidden openings, and see how strong the shadow is. You can also hide behind certain objects and hop from one place to the next if you want to avoid the shadows. Of course, you'll have to fight them eventually. Fighting shadows is your typical RPG battle. You can attack, block, fire your gun, and use your persona abilities, all of which can vary depending on which persona you use. Sometimes you can perform an all-out attack for major damage, or you can talk with the shadows and they might give you an item, money, or you can harness their power and keep them as a persona, which then you can head to the Velvet Room and talk with Igor and your wardens Caroline and Justine. You can perform an execution by taking two personas and combining them to create a more powerful persona, all of which can vary depending on which personas you wish to combine. You can also summon personas that you captured before, but for a hefty price. You'll also be unlocking more executions, so keep returning back to the Velvet Room as you progress through the story. In Mementos, you traverse through a multi-layered dungeon as you try to find your way down to the end of Mementos. More and more layers of Mementos are added as you progress the story, and each layer gets more difficult to progress. Shadows roam around as you move through the tunnels. You can pick up items along the way and find treasure chests too, but don't stay too long because you may attract a very bad Reaper. You can also complete requests, which is the seal minor target submitted to the Phantom Aficionado website, or fansite for short. Basically, you just traverse Mementos until you find the specific target and you change their heart. Simple as that. The gameplay is amazing. The battles can be really intense and exciting, especially with bosses, and much of the attacks are glamorous to look at. The all-out attack especially is iconic. Going through the palaces is really cool, but with each palace, it does get a bit tedious, especially with its puzzles. It's fine and all, but man, they just take a while to complete. But leveling up your confident ranks will make going through palaces a breeze, especially with Ryuji's insta-kill ability. That shit is broken. Mementos is pretty alright too. Again, with the insta-kill ability, you'll be just grinding for loot for the entire duration of your trip. But it's really cool to see how it begins to develop more and more as you continue the story. And the requests are fine as well. They're nothing really special as it's simply a request board, but some of the dialogue for some of the targets are honestly pretty fascinating to read, and see what caused their hearts to become corrupted. But it's more interesting when the requests are for your confidant friends. Hanging out with your confidants is my favorite part of the gameplay, as you get to know more and more about their character and story. The characters, oh my god, I love these characters so goddamn much. I love the entire crew and the confidants. I understand that some are very huge fans of some interesting choices, and then there are the Oya fans, like me. But each character is brimming with charm, and they're all so likable, and their stories, oh my god, their stories are amazing. All the confidants have their own stories to tell, each of them having their own problems that they need to get rid of. And of course, it's your job to help them out. Kawakami's, Tei's, and Hifumi's confidant stories are my favorites especially, but I also love the others too. Now for my favorite characters, for me, there's only 3, and that's Makoto, Takemi, and Hifumi. And if I had to choose one of the 3, Makoto easily. I just really enjoyed her chemistry with Ren, along with her confidant story, and the two really have some great scenes together. And I just really like her character. The music is absolutely phenomenal. There's a ton of variety in the soundtrack that is bursting with a ton of catchy lyrics and jamming rhythm that varies from location. Much of it can be really relaxing or super intense depending on the situation, and it literally never gets old. You'll never get tired of hearing Beneath the Mask over and over again. Also, the art and character designs, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The designs of the palaces are super clever and fit so well with the targets, and the character designs are super cool to look at. Like, come on, you can't tell me Takemi is fucking hot. The voice acting is phenomenal. Both the English and Japanese VAs did an amazing job with their roles, like they were meant to voice those characters. And for me, while I respect the Japanese VAs, I simply adore the English dub of this game.
It looks like the places we can go is expanded again. Most likely, I think.
You seem rather uncertain. How far does this mementos run, anyway?
You're always so vague when it comes to the important stuff.
Now the story. It's great. It's fantastic. You'll instantly get hooked onto the story and its strangeness. How these characters enter the metaverse. How everyone comes together as a team. The problems and serious situations they have to deal with in order to save the people of Tokyo. You'll understand why this all had to happen. Why Ren's friends all joined the team. And what is truly causing this situation. After each palace, the story continues to escalate more and more as the trouble continues to grow, and you'll continue to think, what's going to happen later on now that this happened? The way Persona 5 is executed is simply perfect. The way it executes its story is spot on, delivering some impactful and serious moments, while also trying to make players smile with some of its hilarious moments. It's not trying to lean too much on one side, it's trying to balance so that the game doesn't have to be too serious or too comedic. The way it executes its gameplay, again, it's done very well. I forgot to mention that once you start a palace, you have a time limit that shows you how many days you have left to complete the palace. If you don't finish it, then it's game over. It does give a bit of attention to some players as the timer goes down. And in some of the bosses, you'll find yourself worrying that you won't beat the boss. The boss battles can be intense, but once you beat it, you feel a sense of satisfaction. And the way it executes its themes, as the overall themes of Persona 5 revolve around attaining freedom from the limitations of modern society, meaning that it tells the story of a group of students fighting for freedom in a corrupted world. And you can clearly see the themes in this game, especially from the confidants and your team. Each confidant is dealing with a situation due to living in this corrupted society. Either they're failing or they can't continue on with their work. They feel like they can't do anything. They're stuck. That is until Ren appears in their lives. He is given the chance to help these people out, and once he does, you can see the differences in the confidants now that they're finally free from the corrupted society. Giving their thanks to him and how they'll support him and his team. Seeing that you fixed their lives really makes you feel happy that you were able to help these people out. By the way, romance! That's right, you can get laid in Persona 5. This basically happens to the female confidants. There's no Ryuji romance. I know, it's really sad. Anyway, once you reach rank 9 for one of the girls, you have the opportunity to be in a relationship with them, which of course can lead to some really heartwarming moments with your significant other. Funny thing is, you can romance your teammates like Makoto or Haru, or you can romance the confidant supporters like Takemi or even Kawakami. Well, isn't that cool, right? And if you do actually romance someone, you get unique dialogue from them in some events, including some exclusive events that happens in the story, as well as getting a chance to spend time with them during Christmas Eve and Valentine's Day. Okay, so funny story, I romanced PULLTOP on my first playthrough and I can already hear the angry mob outside. But yeah, romance in Persona 5. It's adorable. Just remember this. Don't try to romance multiple girls in one playthrough, otherwise it could end badly for you. Persona 5 received universal acclaim from critics, players, and fans alike, praising its visual presentation, gameplay, story, and music. The game received a ton of award nominations, including a Game of the Year nomination for the Game Awards, which is really cool to see. So, what are my thoughts on this game? I absolutely love this game. To be honest, this game really changed my view on RPGs in general. I've never played a lot of RPGs back then, and when I got this game and booted it up on my PlayStation 3, my mind was blown. These characters are so likable and amazing, the story is so good and gets even more intriguing as you continue to play, the art style is beautiful, the music is absolutely stellar, the voice acting is incredible, and the confidant stories are one of my favorite parts of the game. Aside from the romance, because the romance is so damn good, Persona 5 is a game unlike anything I've ever played before. It's colorful, hilarious, shocking, intense, romantic, and overall, fun. This is a masterpiece in my opinion.
So that's it, right? That was such a happy ending. There's no way, Atlus and P Studios can make a sequel or, an enhanced version with new characters, a new story, new content. They won't. Right?
Be a show to remember. Take over time to put you down. Make over nothing's gonna take away my life was over when it started with that shoe that felt like walking.
Released on October 31st, 2019 in Japan and on March 31st, 2020 worldwide exclusively for the PlayStation 4, this is Persona 5 Royal. Persona 5 Royal is basically an enhanced version of the original Persona 5, adding in 3 new characters to the story. Accomplished gymnast Kasumi Yoshizawa, curious momentous researcher Jose, and school counselor Takuto Maruki. Plus, the story has been expanded as it now includes a 3rd semester to play through. The game also includes a ton of quality of life improvements as well, along with more ways to interact with your confidants, more voice dialogue, new activities to play, new music, new locations to explore, gameplay enhancements, and new events. To put it simply, this is the best way to play Persona 5, and they fixed a lot of the gameplay when going through the palaces, making it more easier to traverse using the grappling hook. Of course, more secrets lie ahead, including the new will seats, that when found all 3, will give you a special attribute to whoever character you give the seat to, along with the inclusion of an alarm in the Velvet Room, which can greatly straighten a newly summoned persona. Along with that, you can find flowers and stamps and mementos that you can use to trade for items with Jose. The newly added scenes and the new confidant interactions are my favorite. They even updated the Christmas and Valentine dates too. But the new White Day scene especially is such a heartwarming thing to see, even after you finish all of the palaces. Once you get through that scene, you just feel so good about it, since after everything you've been through, it's nice to at least have this moment with your significant other. Originally, the game was only for the PlayStation 4, but finally, after years of waiting, the game finally went multi-platform for the first time ever in the series' history and was released on the Xbox Series X and X, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, PC, and Nintendo Switch on October 21st, 2022 as a full-on remaster. Now in 4K and running in 60 frames per second, now everyone can now experience Persona 5, which is a dream come true for me and many others. Like its predecessor, Persona 5 Royal received universal acclaim from critics, players, and fans alike. Now, I played Royal for the first time on my Series X, and it was just such a joy to play through. The new content especially was such a welcome addition to an already phenomenal game. I loved Kasumi and Maruki. Maruki was such a great character and has such a fascinating story. The same goes for Kasumi. She's a great character, and her story really shocked me once we got into the new content. Along with all the quality of life improvements, extra content, more ways to communicate with your confidants, and the remaster playing in 4K and in 60 frames per second, Persona 5 Royal is basically the best way to play Persona 5.
Congrats! You finally made it to the end of the video! This video has been such a long time coming. I've been in development for this video for about maybe 2 years now. Lots of rewrites, lots of like planning. I just really wanted to make this really like the way I intended it to make originally. And I'm just glad I was able to do it and share it with you guys. And that was the finale to season 1 of my show. Pretty cool, right? It's just really cool to see how far like I've been doing this. I first started off on Instagram, now we're here on YouTube. And this has just been a lot of fun, honestly. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Before I head off, please, if you can, I much appreciate it. Give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. It would really help me a lot. So, with that being said, thanks for... Huh. What's that sound? Whoa! Oh yeah. I think next year is going to get more fun.